Hello everyone, I hope all is doing well. I decided to rebrand this channel to talk about mental health and more specifically narcissistic personality disorder. By definition, it is a disorder in which a person has an inflated self-importance. It is also abbreviated to NPD, and this is most commonly found in men. The cause of this disease is unknown, but it is believed to be a combination of genetics and environmental factors, and this disease needs to be medically diagnosed. So the next step will be to talk about narcissism and what it is. And before even getting into the definition and going into a deep dive for this, these past two pictures that I've shown give a surface level example. It shows two individuals looking at the mirror and just having self admiration, thinking they're superior to anything around them or anybody. So, by definition, narcissism is excessive interest in or admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance. In psychology, it is stated as selfishness involving a self entitlement, a lack of empathy, and a need for admiration. In psychoanalysis, it is self centeredness arising from failure to distinguish the self from external objects, either in very young babies or as a feature of mental disorder, and the latter is what I would like to focus on. So, as you can see on the screen, it lists the signs of a person who suffers from narcissistic personality disorder, and I just want to highlight a couple of these symptoms. The first one I want to talk about is fragile self esteem. You cannot give criticism to a person who has NPD because they will take it as just as a personal attack to their character. They will not take any criticism. They will think what they are doing is correct, and they won't hear otherwise. The next one is the need for attention. They always need everything to revolve around them, and if it doesn't, they will act out and make it about them. The third one would be sense of entitlement. Now, this is a big one because these people believe that everything is deserved to them, even if they don't put in the work or say they treat others bad. And that will tie into the next symptom, the mistreatment of others. In their minds, what they do doesn't affect anyone that how they think it would. As in, like, somebody will treat somebody wrong and then they will get upset. And then they'll be like, why are you upset? I didn't do anything. And the next step of mistreating others is lack of remorse, right? They won't think anything they did is incorrect. So they won't have any empathy towards you, no feeling of why should I apologize, like you were wrong in the situation. There are many more other symptoms that we'll talk about later down the road, but those were a few key ones I wanted to talk about first. So this cycle on the screen is essentially what the narcissistic abuse cycle looks like. The first one is idolize, and in this section, the individual will tell you they love you, show you so much admiration, buy you gifts, all of this to just be back in your good graces. And this is also known as love bombing. The second one will devalue you once they're already in and they establish that relationship with you. Say they just brought you back after you've had enough of them. They will devalue you and they'll start saying you're not as good at as you think you are. They'll start showing abusive symptoms mentally. The third one is the discard. They'll be like they don't need you anymore or you don't need them. You just had enough. The fourth one is hoover. Hoovering is a tactic they use, trying to find an in to be back into the relationship so they can just continue the cycle again. Love bombing and hoovering will be made into separate videos because they deserve each and own video and some time to talk about themselves. But this is basically just the cycle. They'll start loving you, then they'll start devaluing you. They'll say they don't need you anymore or you don't need them. And now that they know they don't have your energy to go off of, they'll start hoovering and try anything and everything to get back in so they could have that sense of power over you mentally. The relationship between an individual and with someone who has NPD could be a relationship, whether it's a boyfriend or girlfriend, a brother or sister, or a parent or a child. And no matter what relationship it is, it will always cause effects to anybody around them. This picture, for example, it shows all the emotions that somebody with NPD will go through, but on the outside, to the public, it'll just be like they're fine all the time. As I just mentioned, here are the effects of narcissistic abuse: anxiety and or depression, post-traumatic stress, loss of sense of self and self-worth, headaches, body aches or trouble sleeping, short-term memory loss, mood swings or depersonalization. I really want to highlight the short-term memory loss because I find it very interesting. The human body goes into a fight or flight mode every time they deem stress or a harmful situation around us. It happens subconsciously, we just don't know it, but it's our body trying to protect us. The short term memory loss, if something happens traumatically, and say you are questioned about it, and you can't recall all the details, is because your body is trying to protect you from re-experiencing what just happened. It could be PTSD, but that is also another effect. The post-traumatic stress is after the traumatic effect happened, your body tries to block that out of you. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it will be stressful that it'll affect your day to day, but certain times there will be your brain try to block out what just happened so you don't have to go into that fight or flight mode again. So that brings me to the end of this video. I think I wanted to touch on every topic that I wanted to in the beginning. This is just scratching the surface of NPD. I fully intend onto breaking it down and doing a deep dive into it. I don't think I said this throughout the video at all, but I just want to clarify that I'm no therapist, I'm no psychologist. I'm a 24-year-old. I went to school for business, but I have seen NPD firsthand and how it affects people around them, and I did self-research, and it has helped me a lot to get through some things. And if I could pass that knowledge on to anybody going through the same thing, that is the main goal here. I just want to see if I could help anybody out and educate people who don't know the severity of NPD. With that being said, please consider subscribing. Please like, it really helps the channel. Comment if you knew about NPD or if this is news to you, that it's medically diagnosed. That was a big thing for me. I knew about NPD, but I didn't know it was an official diagnosis. I didn't know it was a mental disorder. But please, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you in the next one.